Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash True Inferno. Now, remember a number of weeks back, I gave y'all an option for us which 80s album I should review. And it came down to Curtis Blow by Curtis Blow, LL Cool J with Radio, Big Daddy Kane with Long Live the Kane, and Too Short with Born to Mack, and there was a four-way tie. And I started the review off with Radio by LL Cool J, but then I got a request to do a Tupac album, which I left up to y'all as far as which Tupac album I should review, and y'all picked All Eyes on Me, mostly one on Twitter. So that's what I reviewed last week. So now we're going to get back to the 80s joints, and the next one I'm going to do is Too Short with Born to Mack. And I picked this one because Tupac, obviously West Coast up in Cali. Same with Too Short, I believe. If memory serves me correctly. But anywho, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm rolling with, and then we can get the other two out the way, and then we'll move on from there. So, and to answer, yes, he is from Cali as well. So he is West Coast rapper. So with that said, let's get on to his album, which is called Born to Mack. Now, this is going to be very interesting because Born to Mack is the debut studio album done by Too Short. That is not his very first album. No. Or his first collection of music, we'll call it that. So no, that would be Don't Stop Rapping, which came out in 1983. Then in 1985, he did another one called Players. Now these are extended plays, by the way. And then after that, we got Raw, Uncut, and X-Rated, which was very successful apparently, which led to this album right here, Born to Mack. Now, this one came out July 20th, 1987. Again, this one's going to be a little bit interesting. But then the album was re-released by Jive Records on September. Well, actually, no, I'll take that back. Let me. It's confusing. This album was released like 3 times. I crap you not. So originally it came out July 20th, 1987. Then under Dangerous Music and RCA Records, it was re-released September 22nd, 1988 as a Dangerous Music / RCA release. Then on August 24th, 1989, it was re-released again, but as a Jive / RCA compact disc release. So this joint came out 3 times, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, there you go with that. Now this album did make the chart, the U.S. top R&B / hip hop albums done by Billboard. It was as high as number 50 on that list, and that's it really. And this also was gold. So yeah, you know, it did its thing. Now, it only had one single, and there's not much information on this single. And the single is called Freaky Tales, and it did not make any charts or anything like that. So yeah, let's get on with the tracks. There's only 8 tracks, by the way. So obviously I can only give you a top 3, not a top 5. So let's get on with the tracks. And actually, before we do that, this album was recorded in 1986 to 1987. Now again, here's where some interesting info comes to play. Except for one of the tracks, which came out in which was recorded in 1988. So we get more of that later. And the producers were Too Short and T. Bohannon. So yeah, there you go with that. Now let's get on with the tracks. The first track is called Party Time. Then, shocking news here. The second track is called Mack Attack. This is the one that was re-released. I mean, not re-released. That was released in the 1988 version, which, if you recall, came out September 22nd. That was the first re-release. And that was a Danger Mouse / RCA release. So yeah. So originally, I'm assuming, there was 7 tracks on this album. But when they re-released it the first time, they added Mack Attack onto it. And that was the second track. So that's the one we're going off of. Track number 3 is called Playboy Short 2. So you're probably thinking, wait, there's a Playboy Short 1? And let's take a look at that. let's see. The last album he did was the one that got him this record there, Raw, Uncut, and X-Rated. So it's not on there. And it's not the one before that, which is called Players. So I don't know where that track is, but we're gonna move on, you know, no big deal. Then we got You Know What I Mean at track number 4, followed by Freaky Tales, the single, the only single off this album. Then we got Dope Fiend Beat, followed by Little Girls featuring MC Jah, J-A-H. And then the last track is called The Universal Mix. So yeah, there you go with that. And again, his only single off of here is Freaky Tales, which came out sometime in 1988. So yeah, there you go with that. Now, let me give you all my best tracks off this album, since there's no info on this one single. And we're going to start from the bottom. I have to say, ironically enough, the single is the worst track off this album, followed by Little Girls. And then we get to some of the tracks that are pretty decent. Dope Fiend Beat was pretty cool. The Universal Mix. Now, that is basically an instrumental track, but it was still very cool as well. And then, of course, we got Party Time, which is dope. Now, let me give you all my top 3. Number 3 off this album, You Know What I Mean. Though it had this unique bass, but it sounds dope as heck, dog. The bass was the one that sold me into this track right here, man. It was really nice. Second best track off this album, Playboy Short 2. And this is like the second longest track off this album at 7 minutes 10 seconds. The longest track on this album is Freaky Tales. But Playboy Short 2, great lyricism and a good beat as well. And then we move on to the best track off this album, the one that they added once they did the re-release, Mack Attack. That joint is really dope. I really like the beat on this one. And I mean, when you hear this whole album, this is obviously was done in the 80s. I mean, it sounds like something that was on LL Cool J's back in the day, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince as a review, you know, stuff like that. So you can easily tell, yeah, this was done in the 80s. But Mack Attack, the best track off this album, followed by Playboy Short 2, which is second, and then You Know What I Mean, which is third right there. Party Time was really good too. It's number 4. So let me give y'all a couple of professional ratings real quick. All Music gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Rap Reviews gave it 7 out of 10. And that's it. Yeah. There you go. So what do I think about this album? Well, his next album, called Life Is Too Short, apparently that one was his best album if we're going by success and fame and stuff like that, because even though the chart wasn't on the side of this album, but it was double platinum. Now if we was going by the charts on the other hand, then you have to look at Getting It, album number 10. That one was number 3 on the US Billboard 200, and it was number 1 on the US Top R&B/Hip Hop album. Another of his albums were number 1 on that particular chart. Get In, Where You Fit In, Cocktails, and Can't Stay Away. They were all number 1 on the US R&B/Hip Hop albums charts. But the only one that was number 1 on that chart and was the highest on the Billboard 200 was Get It, album number 10. That was the highest one. So it's between those two in my opinion for his best album. Of course, I have not heard any Too Short albums, so I can't really say. This is the only one I heard. And this one I'm gonna have to give a 3 out of 5. A 3 out of 5. There's not a lot there, and even though you can tell by the beats that they still sound like it's in the 80s, like this whole album was done in the 80s, and rightfully so, it was done in the 80s. But the majority of the beats sound the same. It's like there's not a lot of variety with this album. And there's not that one track off this album that makes you go, oh snap, this joint is ill as heck. There was a lot of tracks on here that was dope, you know, or cool, but nothing extraordinary. So you have to give it a 3 out of 5. But at the same time, I would say download it. I mean, it is Too Short's debut album. Download it and see what you think about it. If you like it, keep it. If you don't, then delete it. You know, no skin on my nose. So that's where I'm at with this album, man. So yeah, man, y'all know who this is. This is the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all. Now see y'all next time. Yeah.